Hi friends, welcome back to Forever Young Homestead. I'm Angie, and today I'm going to bring you to a couple of websites that I found helpful if you're in the search for buying land like us. My husband and I are currently looking for land specifically in West Virginia. We already live off grid and we are looking to move our homestead from New England to West Virginia. No matter where you're looking to buy land, I just want to show you guys a few websites that may be helpful to you on your journey. Now, I highly recommend that you walk the land before you purchase it, but some people will buy land sight unseen. And to me, it's a little risky. I know people do it, but hopefully, if you're in a situation like that, or if you want to learn more about a property, these websites could be helpful to you. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel. My husband and I and our family are on our journey to sell our off-grid homestead here in New England. And yes, we're moving to West Virginia. So we're in the search of buying land, starting our homestead all over again, just in another state. So if you want to keep tabs on this journey, please follow along. As you're searching for land, I recommend that you do a quick internet search for property viewer or parcel viewer for the state that you are interested in buying property in. In our case, it's West Virginia. Each state has their own version of this, but you can find so much information out just by doing a quick search. I'm going to use an example of a property that's currently for sale, so I'm going to enter the address in, and it will hone in on this specific address and property. It'll show information about who the owners are, what classification it is, what county it's in, the parcel ID. There's also, you can look at what roads are nearby, and it basically will map out, show you a view of what the property looks like. You can do a topographical map if you want. So if you want to see if there's any power lines or anything going through, you can switch the view there, which is extremely helpful. But one tool that I really like seeing is this flood zone tool. And I actually opened up the tab of the same property, and if you hit this little button down here, partial appears to be in a high risk flood zone. Now, if you've looked at properties and you read just the real estate description, it doesn't usually tell you if it's in a flood zone or not. And it will actually bring you to another map, and it will show you, I actually zoomed out there, it will show you the different flood zones that the property are in and what type of zone it's in. So if it's in zone A, zone B, and that can matter significantly, especially if you're looking at getting a mortgage on a piece of property, or you're getting a construction loan that's going to convert into a mortgage. If a property is in a designated flood zone, your property homeowner's insurance will definitely be more than a property that isn't in a flood zone. So it definitely is something to look into. And also with this property, like with the flood zone, you've got on here West Virginia flood zone. But they can actually go one step further, and you can actually go on FEMA and look at another flood zone as well. So for this piece of property in particular, it does have some flood zone, but it's really towards, there's a stream that goes through there, through the property. So it isn't where the homestead is necessarily, and that can make a big difference because yes, you can buy land that is in a flood zone, but it also depends on what you anticipate that you do with the property. So keep that in mind. But again, if you're getting any type of loan on the property, it can impact that. So before you even look at land, or if you're buying land sight unseen, just check out a topographical map, do some internet searches for different flood zones. This was extremely helpful for us just to see the layout of the land, because my husband and I live about 14 hours away from West Virginia. It's good for us to look at properties in detail before even setting foot at the property site itself. We can rule in or rule out a property just on some basic information that we can get. Site that people will utilize if you're trying to buy land, especially if you want to live the off-grid lifestyle, is billyland.com. Please know I am not sponsored by any of these websites. I'm just showing you some different options for looking at land to buy. What's unique about Billy Land is that this is an owner-financed website, and it shows how many land properties they have, what states, and what this is you're basically bidding for the down payment of a property. Like, let's look at this one. Hopefully it'll let us in. This property is in Kentucky right now. There's a couple of bids on it, and this is just a bid for a down payment. So it's not $700 for the property. When you go down, you see that the full price of this is $29,000. And how many acres is this? 3.9 acres in Kentucky. So you have to be mindful of that, but this is a great way because you don't have to go through banks. It is strictly owner finance, and for a couple of hundred to a couple of thousands of dollars, you can actually own your own land. Just be sure to look at the website. It's pretty easy to use, but it is another option. Just be sure you read all of the fine print on the website, but that is an available option for people that don't want a huge amount of land. You know, they have anywhere from less than an acre to a couple of acres, so it is an option that is available. Of course, you have your classic Zillow. You can, people are pretty familiar with this one. Like I said, not sponsored at all, but you can do home types, the location you want to move in. That is another option that is very well known. One that my husband and I have really been enjoying is land.com, because sometimes you can find more properties on here, specifically if you're looking to live off grid. We found some property listings on land.com that are not on others. So that definitely is a website that we've enjoyed using. And the last website I'm going to show you, it's specific to Tennessee only. It's sort of like Billy Land. It's called Landstruck, but it is only for Tennessee. It's just like Billy Land, where it's owner financed, very low down payment. They don't do credit checks. And they have a couple of areas. You can see they got a couple here there's one that's pending. I've heard pretty good things about this website, and I've actually known a person that bought land through Landstruck, had a very positive experience. I have not worked with them myself, but I just wanted to throw that out there as another option if you're looking for land that is specific to Tennessee. So those are just a couple of land options, but try to do your due diligence. If you aren't able to look at the land right away, at least do a partial ID search, look for flooding, look at the property boundaries, things like that, because you can quickly rule in or rule out a property that you want to look at just by gathering some basic data. I hope that helped you. It's certainly helped us with our land search as we are looking at properties, and we're in the process of selling our homestead, so we're actively looking for a new place to land and spread our roots. Until the next time, thank you for following along, and I'll see you guys in the next video.